We are live. What is up, guys? Game 6, Heat versus Celtics. What a game. Mike's guy, Jimmy Butler, playing how we all thought, or how we all knew he could. I thought the knee inflammation had the best of him. Kind of counted him out. But look at me. I'm an idiot.
I mean, now I'm starting to wonder. I'm starting to wonder if it was really his knee or if he was just having bad games. Yes, I do think his knee had something to do with it, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking that maybe the media and people that talk about this stuff
Yeah.
probably put more on it than what it really was. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, he knows himself. Athletes know themselves, and
Yeah.
you're never gonna admit when you're hurt. But
Yeah.
this dude, man, 16 of 29.
Yeah.
So efficient, almost had a triple double, 47 points. The dude is, and you want to know what I like about his game the most, man, is that he keeps it simple.
Yep.
He's so fundamental. That's
Yep.
why he's so good. I've said for the longest time that if there were more fundamental players in the NBA, it would be a lot more fun to watch because it's just better basketball to watch
Yeah.
instead of coming down jacking a three or you know what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
I got a lot more to
Although
say about the game. Go ahead.
I will tell you, the other night I watched an 11-minute career highlight video of Tim Duncan, and it was like I fell asleep halfway through. No disrespect to Tim Duncan, because
But it was effective.
of
The guy's in
course,
the Hall of Fame. I
he's
remember when
never
people
he
were,
never won less than 50 games. He's
look at that.
incredibly
Look at that.
effective. But
That people said that Detroit San Antonio finals was the most boring thing to watch, and I tell them this, like, you're
yeah,
crazy.
it's great
You're crazy.
basketball. But dude, career highlight video, I kid you not, every single play started from the left block.
Wow.
And 80% of them were bank shots from the left block.
Yeah. Hey,
And I have Duncan as like a top 7 player of all time, but I mean, we're getting way off topic. But anyways, how about them Heat? Tell me your knee-jerk reactions. Obviously, Jimmy Butler, 47 points. What else stood out to you?
uh, Derek White stood
Yep.
out to me, and I'm wondering now because remember Marcus Smart is playing out of position.
Yep.
I can I don't I guess I can't say that so much now because he's been in the NBA for a while and he's been playing a point guard, but he's naturally not a point guard. That
Yeah.
guy is a scorer. People that pay attention to the game and not just the NBA. I'm talking about the game. You saw what he did at Oklahoma State. He was a scorer, okay?
Yep.
And every now and then you see him turn on that switch. So I'm not saying that Udoka needs to go ahead and put White, in the starting lineup or
Yep.
anything, but Smart can be a third scorer if you just let him score. He can be
Yep.
their third scorer. And I tell you this, Jalen Brown, every time I see him, I just think he's gonna miss a shot. I think he's gonna fall. I think he's gonna dribble off of his
Yeah.
foot. And I don't know. He just looks uncoordinated. He's a hell of an athlete. I just
Yeah.
every time he shoots it, I'm like, I don't know. So
Yeah.
it's weird to see him get hot. But Derek White stood out to me because that lift that he gave them was just something. He's a true point guard, and
Yep.
they don't have that in their starting lineup. That
Yep.
was another thing. But what do you have the box score in front of you? Still,
Uh,
nobody stood out to me from the naked eye, from what I can remember, especially in the first half. That
yeah.
showing of Bam was nothing. I think he had 4 points in the
Yep.
first half. What did he finish with?
Bam, yikes. 6 points, 9 rebounds.
Apparently, that's all they need. But you look what the Miami Heat needed to win this game. They needed a
Yeah.
Herculean effort from one of the best in the game
Yep.
to win it. Who's the second leading scorer for Miami?
So this is going to segue right into my next point, and plug yours because you're going to hate this one.
Oh
But
boy.
this is what you've been paying Kyle Lowry $27 million this year for:
Oh, hey.
is
Yeah.
18 points, 10
Yep.
assists, 4 rebounds, hit
Yep.
the big shot with 4
Yep. He
minutes
did.
left to tie it at 97. And I've been with you this whole time when we've been talking about Kyle Lowry. I haven't had a problem with anything you said. However, this is why you do pay veterans big money,
Mm-hmm.
is for when when Jimmy decides that possession isn't for him and they're down 3 with 4 minutes left in the biggest game
Bails you
of
out.
is that Lowry can hit that shot. You know why? Because he's been there. This is what his fourth conference finals ever.
Yeah.
So he's been here. He's won a ring. Um, like this is why you got Kyle Lowry. And even if the rest of the season is ugly, which it has been pretty ugly for Kyle Lowry on the Heat, at various times it's been good, it's been bad, ups and downs. That shot makes every single penny of the 27 million worth it. Probably saved their season.
I don't disagree with anything that you said, but Gabe Vincent can do the same goddamn thing for cheap. I'm sorry. I mean, look, go ahead.
If everything but that shot, I agree. I don't think Gabe Vincent hits that shot. I do think Gabe Vincent could do anything else Kyle Lowry has done this year besides hit that shot.
You know what? You're probably right. And I'll tell you another thing. The Heat probably are not in that position if Gabe Vincent takes Kyle Lowry's minutes. They're probably winning the game by a bigger margin than that. I don't like Kyle Lowry on the floor, man. I don't see what the big deal about him is. Yep. Okay, the guy is an actress a lot of times, and then he acts like he doesn't know what he did when a call goes against him. I don't like him on the floor. This is the second time in his career that he is the second best point guard on his team. I don't see the infatuation with him. I'm sorry. Yeah. But credit to him, he did have a good game. He was hobbled. And what did I tell you, man? That if Boston won Game 5, which they did, I still wasn't sold on them winning, on Miami being out. I felt like that all along. Like, I just didn't. And I wish I would have said it earlier in our shows. But in my head, I told myself the team that wins 2 in a row is going to win this series.
Yep.
All right. I could still be wrong because Boston may win Game 7, but this was Boston. You don't do this. When you have a chance to close out a team on your home floor, you do it. They didn't do it. And this could come back to haunt them. So this was shades of LeBron Game 6 going into the Garden. What year was that? 9 or whatever it was. 2012, whatever it was. So I'm wondering who had the bigger Game 6, Jimmy or LeBron? Boston may never want to play Miami in a Game 6 at home again for a closeout because they're just not going to get it done.
Yeah, I'd take LeBron personally. I think he's underrated. Honestly, I really think LeBron's underrated.
Let's keep the conversation going.
All right. Hey, but no disrespect to Jimmy.
No. I know that wasn't.
I was just telling someone on Twitter, I feel like I've been a Jimmy truther for most of the last 3 or 4 seasons, and I had him as the 12th best player in the NBA. And watching tonight, this happens on occasion. The problem with analyzing Jimmy is he's somewhat passive in the regular season now, in the sense that maybe he's just managing his own body. Maybe he's trying to get his teammates involved. But you look at his stats and it's 21 points a game, 6 rebounds. It's nothing jumps off the sheet.
Yeah.
But when you watch him in a game like this, I'm thinking wow, 12 is really low for Jimmy. That is not the 12th best player in the league. That is maybe the 6th or 7th best player in the league at worst.
It's the latter. Because you said if he takes care of his body, if he tries to involve his team, like I said, I keep telling people, Jimmy was much more aggressive earlier in his career with the Bulls, with the Wolves, even with the Sixers. That changed a lot here, and he started deferring to his team, and that's, I think, trying to involve everyone. He knows he's the alpha, right? Even though he says that Bam, he says it himself, Bam is the heart and soul of this team. Look it up. He says it all the time. And I think that's him trying to build up his team. That's him doing it off the court. Yeah, that's him doing it off the court, and then you see him doing it on the court because there's a bunch of times that I'm like, God damn it, Jimmy, shoot the ball.
Yeah.
Stop. You were in the lane. You're looking like LeBron. No disrespect to LeBron. Passing up a good shot 2 feet away from the basket for an open 3 in the corner. Okay, fine, whatever. So he does that a lot. It gets on my nerves, but I guess, when he has to get it done, he doesn't have that save myself mentality.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He's not built that way. But you want to know what I think Boston got in where they got in trouble in this series or tonight is they reverted back to their offense, how they looked like under Brad Stevens, and it was a lot of 1-on-1, right? Yep. And I'm sorry, this is going to sound wrong because I'm not in the NBA, but NBA players are dumb. Like they really piss me. You know how many
Yeah.
times I saw lackadaisical pass. This is game 6 in the
Yep.
Eastern Conference Finals, and I can't really say on Miami's part, more on Boston's part. Lackadaisical passes, like
Yep.
here, and it's like, what are you doing? And
Yep.
I bring that up because Jason Tatum was dribbling into traffic, and
Yep.
then he's like, "Oh, I'm in trouble. Let me go ahead and kick it out to whatever." And for an open shot, I get it, but it's like that was ugly offense by Boston.
Yep.
Good defense by the Heat in the fourth quarter. They were playing him differently.
Yep.
But yeah, man, I just like going back to the whole fundamentals thing. It's like so many things would be avoided if you just play the right way.
Yep.
All right, nothing's given in this game. You can't just be loafing a pass out there because Jimmy Butler did it twice in this game. He picked it off like a freaking safety and he scored the other way. But this is the game that they needed, man. They needed. So does it translate to Sunday? Is Jimmy gonna have another big game? He better. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously the Heat can win if Bam doesn't show up, but they almost lost this one. Let's not.
Yeah.
They go ahead.
Well, so I want to talk on both things that you just said. Yeah, they almost lost this one. Bam is completely a non-factor. I mean, once again, gets outplayed by Rob Williams. It's like, what would you have said to me if before this series I would have looked you square in the face and I said Rob Williams will outplay Bam every single time they match up this series?
I would have thought Bam was hurt or
you
Rob
thought I
Williams
grew
was
up in
scared or
Boston.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
Yeah, I mean that sounds absurd, but I mean it's happening and it's happening night after night. And what do you do with Bam? I mean, it's to the point that I was thinking to myself, I'm not a Heat fan per se. I cheer for them, I like them, but that's not my first allegiance. I was thinking to myself, playing the scenario in my head, like what does Jimmy say to Bam if they lose this series or if they lose this game tonight and they're out? Like, I would. My inclination is maybe Jimmy loves Bam as a person enough that that's not the reaction, but like Jimmy's track record, look at what he did to Wiggins and Towns, and look at what he did to Ben Simmons in Philly. Like, how is what Bam doing this series? How is that any different than what Towns gave Jimmy and what Ben Simmons gave Jimmy? And he didn't like it. He didn't like it at all because he could see right through it. He's like, dude, you are soft. Like, I'm going nowhere with you because you are soft and you're scared of the moment.
Damn, Jordan. I don't know what it is because it's not like if Bam hasn't been in this position, he made it to the finals just a couple years back. So I'm thinking maybe it really is just a match. Maybe Rob Williams just knows how to play him. He's taller than him. He's more athletic. I don't know. Maybe he just I don't have an answer to it. It's just weird. And literally all Bam has to do is he can get to the cup in 2 dribbles. He's athletic. A jab step one way, boom, you're gone. And I think I saw him do it once today. He scored off of it. He scored off of it. And I don't know if it's a case of him deferring or letting the game come to him, or he just is hesitant right now. And look, everybody's allowed that. Everybody's allowed to have a mental slump or whatever the case is, and hopefully that's what it is for him because we know what he's capable of.
Well, he didn't get to the free throw line at all.
Wow.
He only took 6 attempts, 3 of 6, 6 points. It's just, one of the themes that we've been talking about this series is how important it is to have a second banana.
Right.
And, it's kind of funny down the stretch in this game, the tables kind of turned in the sense that, Kyle Lowry comes alive down the stretch. PJ Tucker comes alive. Like, they're hitting big shots. PJ Tucker hit some big free throws. Kyle Lowry hit that massive three-pointer.
Yep.
And Jaylen Brown looks terrible down the stretch. He really didn't play that bad of a game until like the last 6 to 8 minutes. Right. It was really like, wow, that's boneheaded play, another boneheaded play, another boneheaded play. Like, what are you doing?
They did have White come in. He had 22 off the bench. So there's
White played awesome.
He played good. And Jaylen Brown, his number, you look at the stat sheet, 6 of 13, 20
Yep.
points. But like I said, the disappear factor goes nowhere on the box score. Like you can't
Yeah.
see that. He was, and maybe that's because oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. White was playing well. Maybe that's because
Yeah.
White was playing well. But
Yeah. Stuff like
that
that charge at the end of the game. Oh my gosh.
Horford had 3 points. That's the game.
Yep.
That's the game. Because 1 of 8, they were down big. He had 9 boards. That's the game because Horford is supposed to give you at least minimum 10, 12 points. You know what I
Yep.
mean? He had 1 of 6 from 3. He's been doing a lot better hitting those corner shots, PJ Tucker style. But
Yep.
to me, that's the game right there. That's the game
Yeah.
right there. Yes, Jimmy. Yes, this, but that's the obvious. Horford
Yep.
not playing well was a head scratcher.
Yeah.
And listen, Boston just did this a couple weeks ago. They went into the belly of the beast. They won Game 7,
Yep.
and I didn't have them doing. No, they won it at home. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
they won it at home. They won Game 7 at home against Milwaukee. They had to go to Milwaukee to force a Game 7.
Yep.
So that's like a Game 7. That's like a
Yep.
Game 7 for Boston. For you having to go to Milwaukee and win a Game 6, that's like having to go to Miami and win a Game 7. So they essentially were in the same boat. They had to win 2 games to win that series last round, and now they had 2 chances to win 1 game. And this is it. Look, anything can happen in a Game 7,
Agreed.
but this is going to hurt for Boston.
Can
You
I?
give Miami confidence that they shouldn't have had. Okay,
Mhm.
Max Strus came alive. All right, 4 starters in double figures.
Yep.
And that Heat bench didn't do anything. Jimmy Butler played 46 minutes. What did I
Yep.
say? What did I say today? You got to give this. You got to give one of
Yeah.
these guys. I didn't think it was going to be Jimmy because I thought his knee was that bad. You
Yeah.
got to give these guys. I kept saying Oladipo. You got to give these guys 40 plus minutes.
Yeah.
Adebayo played 41. Jimmy Butler played 46. That's what it's going to take. 47 points in 46 minutes for Butler.
I was just going to say the most important number on this entire box score for Game 7 is the number 46. And it is because, like, what happens with Jimmy in Game 7? Okay? We all know that he's capable of these performances. We saw it in the finals 2 years ago. I think it was like Game 4, Game 5, something like that. Blow for blow with LeBron.
Yeah.
The problem was, though, is that the next game, LeBron did it again, and Jimmy couldn't. And that's no disrespect to Jimmy. That's the difference between a top 1 player in the NBA and a top 8 player in the NBA, right? What will Jimmy's knee look like next game? What will Jimmy's energy level look like next game? What will his intensity look like next game? To me, those are the only questions that matter for the Heat because he has carried them on his back this series.
If he doesn't play well, they're not going to win.
There's no chance. There's no chance.
And if Boston, let me see something real quick. Because Jimmy, like we said, given that was great, and Miami Heat's defense on Tatum in the fourth quarter were huge.
Yep.
But Horford not playing on Boston's end. Horford not playing well.
Mm-hmm.
And again, even though Miami one up them, Boston's 18 turnovers. Like they have in their 3 wins, it's take care of the ball.
Yep.
Take care of the ball, and you guys are playing like it's a preseason game. Like that pass that Horford had in the first half that Jimmy took, and you have to look at things like this because you end up losing by 8 points, right? Okay.
Yeah.
The teams were great. Both teams were great from the line, so you really can't look at that stat. But you look at this mistake here, It's dumb, stupid. You guys are in the NBA making peewee mistakes that you learned not to make cross-court passes. Like, what is this? It's so frustrating. That's like when I see the Warriors play and they get into these slumps where they're turning the ball over. They think they're the Harlem Globetrotters, and it's frustrating because their best players are doing it. And it's like, guys, come on. That's what Boston did today. And, those turnover, 10 steals for each team. Listen, Game 7 is going to be a war.
Oh, yeah.
But Miami, again, will not win if they don't have at least 30 plus from
Jimmy.
from Jimmy, and I'm not even gonna say a big number from that second guy because Miami's won all season long
Yep.
with bits and pieces from a second guy. Right?
Yep.
It could be three guys or whatever. They need clutch shooting from Strus and Lowry. They do that, they're gonna win.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen, man. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm biased. I don't know if it's, that I gave my opinion and now I'm having a hard time going away from it. Um, Basketball looks so much harder for the Heat in this series than it does for the Celtics. And it still looked that way tonight. I mean, you said it, Herculean effort from Jimmy, and that makes up for a lot of problems. It really
Yeah, hell
does.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Having a guy like Jimmy that can do that, I mean, I think he's clearly. I don't know if I would unequivocally say he's the best player in this series. I can tell you he is the alpha dog in this series.
Right.
He's kind
Right.
of like Jason Tatum looks great. He also kind of looks like little brother right now. You know,
Hey,
um, so I don't. I don't know, man. The Heat just have some serious issues that if they win, I will just be amazed, and it'll be like all credit to Jimmy, all credit to Spo, and like how did you guys cobble together dudes that repeatedly let you down in a way that you got to the finals like that? It's this team is really bizarre to me.
you want to know what you just said? Somebody was I can't remember if it was Frank Isola or if it was Tim Legler
Uh-huh.
on NBA radio yesterday.
Yeah.
One of them said that when the Heat win, they have all of these things that never happen for them.
Yeah.
Like all of these things happen, and it's like that's a great that happened. Like wow, you got all of the bench scored 40. You had 20 offensive rebounds. You forced 19. You had 19 steals. They had 19 steals once in this series. Like
Yeah.
all of these things that don't normally happen in a basketball game happen for Miami when they win. And that's what you just said.
Yep.
That's what you just said. So it just reminded me of it. So it's like, wow, okay. And look, you knew Struess was going to get at some point break out of a slump, right? He hit 3 of 8 from beyond the arc, and that first one was a prayer.
Yeah.
That shot clock buzzer beater was crazy, and it's just they do. And you want to know what though? The basketball gods reward when you play the right way, man. And that's
Yep.
what Miami does. They're tough. They're this. They're that. It's not going to win a championship. I'm sorry. I'm not going away from that. The Warriors are beating whoever comes out of this series
Yeah.
blindfolded. But that's what happens, man. When you defend, when you pass the ball, when you play right, when you make the right reads, things like that just fall into your lap. Okay, you got guys charging into you in the final play of the game. That's another stupid play, like Jaylen Brown. What are you doing trying to dunk over a guy that's clearly outside of the thing,
I don't
out
know.
of the arc, out of the restricted area? Like you're not
Euro
super.
step, man. Euro step.
Yeah, and that's another fundamental thing. Like if you see a guy's trying to come in and take a charge, you stop and pop. Use your floater. Use a
Yep.
mid-range like that. That irks me. But anyway, like I said, I'm not in the NBA, but maybe I should have been because all of these things are parts of my game that I've incorporated when I played.
Yep.
But
Mike McCoy, IQ guy. That's
look,
NBA player.
most points when facing elimination in Heat history. Butler
Yep.
47, Wade 46, LeBron 45.
Yep.
That is crazy. That is crazy, man. Both, yeah, and they were all versus Boston. They were
Wow.
all versus Boston.
That's amazing.
Wade had 46 in 2010. LeBron had 45 in 2012. And
Yep.
today, Jimmy Butler. But listen, man, I think the formula is simple when it comes to Sunday. Three things that Miami's going to need to win. These are the three things. Automatic, everyone and their mom knows Butler has to at least put 25 plus. I want to say 30. But I'm going to go out on the limb and say that neither team goes over 100 points on
Okay.
that's it. We're going to see some defense played on Sunday.
Yeah.
Butler needs to go for 25 to 30, number one.
Okay.
Wherever, I'm tired of saying Bam. I'm tired of saying Bam. Wherever these second points come from, however they come, they need to come. Whether it's all 5 starters playing high 30s, 40 minutes, and you got 4 guys playing, 4 guys in the starting lineup with double-digit scoring, it has to come from somewhere. Okay, they need that option. And the other part for Miami to win, Butler, the others putting up points, they can't turn the ball over either. Because again, remember when I said last time that we spoke, these teams are so good defensively that if the other team goes on a run, it's a problem. It's going to be an uphill battle coming back. And for Boston, same thing. Do not turn the ball over. Okay, Jaylen Brown needs to be consistent. I'm not worried about Tatum. Jaylen Brown needs to be consistent. And the other part is, I think those are the only 2 things Boston really needs to do. Boston has more room for error, and they're just playing dumb.
Can we think of a new? I feel like Bam needs a new nickname that's a less threatening noise. I think Bam is a little threatening for
Damn Adebayo.
yeah, right.
Damn Adebayo. I don't know, but again, man, I like the guy. I'll take him on my team, but maybe it's just I don't know. Look, Strus got through it. Maybe Bam's going through it. Maybe it's just a series. Maybe you have a renewed, whatever if they make it to the finals. But this is just a weird series, man. It's exciting. It was a great game 6. I'm disappointed in Boston. I really, really am, because I wanted to see them take that next step. And this is what champions do. Champions close it out when you have a chance, especially at home.
Yeah, both of these teams have been there, though. I mean, I know Brown and Tatum were young, but they've been to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
They've both been there. So I think, is this their 3rd time there? It is.
It's their 3rd time.
Yeah, because they were there the Isaiah year against Cleveland.
Yes.
And then they were there
like 3 years ago.
They were there in the bubble. They played the Heat in the bubble.
Yeah.
And then, so, dude, it's a little Brown shouldn't be playing like that anymore.
What did he have? And again, he didn't have a bet. 6 of 13.
Yeah.
6 rebounds, 5 assists, 20 points. It was just the mistakes that he had. It was when he had them.
Agreed.
Not that he had them. It's when he had them.
If you just watch his first 3 quarters, then, you're like, yeah, that's fine. But then in the 4th quarter, it's just like, dude, timely mistake. Very costly, timely mistake right there. And then again, and then again, and then again.
Rob Williams, and I'm going to put air quotes, outplayed Bam, but he had 1 rebound.
Yeah, that's true.
He had 1 rebound. That. Come on, guy.
Yeah, I saw that too.
1 rebound.
Yeah.
Bam had 6 points, 9 rebounds. He
only
took 6 shots.
Minus. What's Rob Williams plus minus? Because he only played 26 minutes. -7. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I want to see. I think Udoka, and if he doesn't, I'd be surprised. I think that Derek White lineup with him, it was him, Smart, Brown, Tatum, and Horford were out there.
Yep.
That was giving Miami fits.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if he's going to go to that at some point on Sunday more, because it's not like if he hasn't been getting minutes in this series, but tonight
he's streaky though.
But he's such a good decision maker.
Yeah,
he is shooting.
I'm with you. I just, what is Adrian just texted us? Tatum and Brown had 1 combined shot in the first 11 minutes of the 4th quarter. That's the game.
Hell yeah, that
is the game. That is the game. What's Tatum doing?
The defense that Miami was playing on Tatum, it was like they would let him take a dribble, and you saw it on that Tucker steal. He dribbled, and then as soon as he got there, no fouling at all. Tucker swiped it away, and it was like the Heat are going to double late. The Heat are really good at that. They get into a position, and it's that hard late double. What was that?
Yeah, I said elite wing defenders. I mean, that's kind of what's carrying both of these defenses is the switchability.
Yep.
Just how many dudes that they can throw at you, right?
Right. and that's where the Heat's depth comes into play. Like, both of us agree that coming into the series, both of us had Miami being the deeper team, which was why when injuries started, hitting this series, Boston looked better. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, like, I was confused by it because I would have thought Miami would look, because they're deeper.
Yeah.
They're
Yep.
deeper. And they have a lot of the same players, not the same players, but a lot of players that could do,
Yeah.
similar things. But man, Sunday, I I don't know
Tyler
who they
Hero.
have.
Tyler Hero will probably be back.
I think that's a mistake because
Yeah.
Miami can win the game without him. And if you're gonna come back, you might as well come back at during the finals.
Yeah.
Like they got to
It's
think about that, because let's say he plays. Let's
yeah.
say Miami wins, and I think you're gonna get 3 or 4 days before the finals start.
Yep.
You're playing a game 7, so that's less
Yep.
time for you. Golden State's trip. You got to travel across the country. Let's say he tweaks something and it's worse. You're gonna need Tyler Hero in that series. Like,
Yep.
Tyler Hero's not going to be a factor in Game 7. I'm going to go out and say it. If he plays, he's not going to be the guy. He's
Well,
he's
yeah.
and I've been careful to not speak in absolutes throughout this whole series.
Yeah.
Okay, if Tyler Hero plays, A, that'll be a mistake, and B, he's not going to be that much of a factor.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say it.
Oh, I'm kind of with you. This series has really soured me on Hero and Bam. Just in it's like the whole playoffs. The whole playoffs has soured me on Hero and Bam. It's
Wow.
like are those dudes really like the Heat are getting here because their fourth and fifth options are great. Their fourth and fifth guys are so great, are overqualified, not because their second and third guys are good.
Yeah. No, you're right.
It's
You're
it's
right.
the
And then
it's the Lowry, Tucker, Struce, Gabe Vincent. That's what's propelling them. Is that
yeah.
their 3, 4, 5, 6 is so much better than everyone else's 3, 4, 5, 6 that they've played so far.
And that's okay to have in the I'm still going to call this
Yeah.
this Heat team a very, very good regular season team.
Yeah.
I'm sorry who that offends or whatever, but I mean, you
Yeah.
just look at it. First round Atlanta, no challenge. Second round Philly, you get into trouble as soon as what happens? As soon as my MVP, because he's no disrespect to Jokic, okay, but my MVP was Embiid this year. As soon as he gets healthy, you lose 2 games. That
Yep.
series goes 6. Okay, you figured that out. And then boom, it's like how long can you sustain fourth and fifth guys holding you up? And it's
Yep.
not even fourth and fifth guy. It's a fourth and fifth guy, but it's a different fourth and fifth guy every night. And again, that speaks to their depth, which is great. But in a series, when a team can figure out, I mean, are these guys going to outscore gold? Are either of these teams going to outscore Golden State?
Nope.
It's not going to happen. Defense
Nope.
travels, I get it. But Golden State, I think they had a top 5 defense statistically during the regular season, if I'm not mistaken.
Wouldn't surprise
And,
me.
and to me, I've always said it, their best defense is their offense.
Yep.
You're going to drain 4 threes, and you're going to look at them and say, damn. And that forces you to play out of your game plan.
Oh yeah. The Warriors, I mean, take it from a guy who is always rooting against them because I don't like them. I've never watched a team that is more demoralizing than the Golden State
Yeah, no,
Warriors.
it's
Even I can't imagine how the players on the court feel because as a fan at home,
it's like,
or even I've been a fan in the stands as well. I actually have a funny story about me and Kevin Durant and a Jazz playoff game,
oh
Jazz
shit.
Warriors playoff game. But they're so demoralizing to play against because, I mean, they can just pull 12 points out of nowhere. 12
Yeah.
points in like a minute and 45-second stretch. And it's just the next thing you know, you went from being down 5 to being down 17 in a minute.
In a minute, literally in a minute.
And you're
guess
just like,
what?
oh my gosh, what happened? Like the game
Exactly.
is over and it took a minute.
Exactly. They did it to close out the Mavs. Was it? Yeah, they did
Yep.
it to close out the Mavs. That they
Yep.
they got hot in like the last 3 minutes. It was over.
Yep.
And they don't always do it with threes.
Yep. They don't
They
have to.
don't always do it with threes.
Yep.
The way they move the ball, man, they can get whatever they want. That's going to give both of these defenses fits. We're going to see the test of knowing your assignment and rotating. That is going to be the test when it comes to these guys. Like, I'm sorry, but they better pour holy water over Kyle Lowry's hamstring because he's gonna be running around chasing Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Not a good matchup.
And so I've been wanting to bring up about Jimmy's knee. So inflammation is what they're talking about.
Right.
He's missed games earlier in this playoffs for it. So it is something that is,
Lingering.
yeah. And, I mean, he played 46 minutes tonight. If they advance, who knows if it's going to happen again, if he has to miss a game in the finals. Like,
There's remedies to that. It's just you can't, and the short term remedies, they work. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like Dwayne Wade, I don't know if you remember, there was a point in his career that he looked really, really bad because they would drain his knee.
yeah. It was
And he looked
years.
great.
It was every year with LeBron besides the first year.
There you go.
Like I feel like Wade was really overrated with LeBron in the sense that he was fantastic the first year, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But years 2, 3, and 4, like his knee had to be drained every 3 weeks,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he had
And
fluid in there.
and every time after it was drained, he had a great game.
Yep.
And I remember he had a great game. He was
Yep.
getting kind of fat and out of shape and whatever. That
Yep.
was kind of one of the reasons that
Yep.
people were kind of second guessing, like, oh, whatever,
Yeah.
Wade. But there's
Yep.
I was going back the short term remedies to that, they work. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. The rest is going to help him because I think, like I said, there's 3, maybe 4 days before Sunday and the start of game 1. But you still, like, it's a
Yeah.
game 7. All right. I think he's going to be fine for game 7. I honestly think he's going to be fine. I doubt he practices.
Yep.
And if he does, he's probably going to be taking mental reps because the guy doesn't need to practice. He needs to
Yeah.
rest. But they show, and I just had a feeling, man. I said I'm not counting them out game 6 if they're going down back to Boston
Yep.
3-2. And look what happens.
Yep.
If and look, you couldn't nobody
Yep.
Nobody outside being a Heat fan, okay, nobody could have given a logical reason for Miami winning this game. Nobody had Jimmy doing this tonight. I'm sorry. Nobody
Yep.
had Jimmy doing this tonight. Nobody had Strus breaking out of a slump tonight.
Yep.
Nobody had Lowry doing this tonight. Nobody had it. Nobody had Horford scoring 3 points. No logical reason for anybody to pick Miami, and boom.
Yep.
So who you got game 7? That's the question.
Man. So I'm picking Boston for the sole reason that their margin of error is smaller or is larger, right? The Heat
Well, largely, yeah.
whatever it means is that Boston has more wiggle room than the Heat
Right.
do in game
Right.
7.
They do.
I think this game is actually a toss-up, but I'm not gonna give toss-up because that's lame, right?
Yeah,
And
no,
that's
yeah,
why I'm
yeah.
gonna go with Boston. Like the Heat, home court will be important, like
Yeah.
it's going to help guys, the Gabe Vincents, the Max Strus, those guys. It's gonna help the role players. But like we said, it comes down to Jimmy's knee. It comes down to Jimmy Butler. Period. End of story. If Jimmy doesn't play like he did tonight, which was 47 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, which is an absurd stat line.
Who else on that roster can do that?
Nobody. Who else in the NBA can do that? Like 3 dudes. And
Right.
so if Jimmy doesn't play like that again, I don't think the Heat can win. And
No.
and that's why if you force me to pick, I'm going to take Boston.
It's hard to win a game 7 on the road.
Yep.
Really, really, really hard to get into game 7 on the road. It's even harder after you lose game 6 when you should have closed out the series at home, right?
Yep.
With that being said, and we saw what happened tonight. We saw what it took for Miami to win and everything. And I already said that I really don't think neither team is going to go over 100. I'm going to pick the team with the better defense. And I think Boston has a better defense.
Mm-hmm.
But every game in this series, something has happened that nobody predicted.
Yep.
So I think that's going to happen again. I don't know what the hell it's going to be. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be a terrible call.
The Al Horford game.
I wouldn't doubt it. The wily old veteran or Derek White game or a what's this guy's name for the
Peyton
Heat?
Pritchard.
Not or Pritchard or Caleb Martin. I mean, he had
Yeah.
12 minutes today.
Yeah.
He played 12 minutes today and
Yeah.
didn't play that bad, that half bad. But I'm gonna go with the team with a better defense, but that's ballsy to pick the away team
Yeah.
in a game 7 because I wouldn't be surprised at all Miami wins. I'm just going off of the better team normally wins. And I think this is a cop out. I think what I'm saying right now is a cop out. The better team normally wins in a playoff series.
Yep.
It's just hard when that team goes on a road for a game 7. You know what I mean? Like,
Agreed.
we'll
Agreed.
see, man. We'll see.
So last thing, I'm going to tell you my Durant story, and then let's
boy.
let's close it up. So, what was it? The first round or second round? I think it was. I can't remember if it was. I think it was first round of the playoffs, or second round of the playoffs. Anyways, 2017, the last Gordon Hayward year of Utah, right? Last year before he went to Boston. Playing the Warriors in the playoffs. They ended up sweeping us. But game 3, I managed to score 4th row tickets. So I'm right there, right behind the basket. I wore bright clothing because I was like, I'm going to give KD a hard time tonight. Like, that's what I'm doing. And every time Kevin Durant was down, on offense, waiting for the ball to come down, he's in the corner, and I'm literally 20 feet away from him. And I don't believe this by any stretch, but every single time, Russ is better than you, KD. Hey, KD, Russ is better than you, every single time. So, like, third quarter, the game is still tight. Jazz have no hope in this series, have to win game 3. Game's still tight. And finally, like, KD acknowledged me. He looks at me, he's just like, dude, stop. Leave me alone. And then, I kid you not, 3 straight possessions, comes down and hits a 3-pointer.
Damn.
And then he looked at me after. He made eye contact with me after.
I was gonna say, did he point at you or something? Damn.
He didn't point at me, but he looked into my soul, and I was like, I just lost this game for my team.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's a good one.
Yep.
That's a good one. Holy crap.
Yep.
Don't mess with KD. That's a learn, huh?
Well, dude, I mean, that's what makes players like that elite,
Yeah.
So,
oh boy.
Anyways,
it's gonna be a war, dude.
Game 7 is gonna be fun. So we'll have to get Matty Ice on with us next time for Game 7.
Man, I'm so mad he wasn't able to. Man, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
You said he was in Disney?
Yeah, he's at Disneyland right now. I don't blame him.
Jealous.
Yeah, I think he's an LA guy, so probably not.
He's happy tonight.
Yeah.
I like the hire.
Yeah, the Darvin Ham.
I like the hire.
Yeah, I do too. I kind of wish they would have taken Quinn Snyder.
Of course you do. He's not a bad. Well, let me not say.
He's bad in the playoffs. He's bad in the playoffs.
He's bad in the playoffs.
My thing with Quinn Snyder, I think he's a great coach, but he's so rigid.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, like that's what's Milwaukee's dude's name? Can't think of him right now.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. I'm drawing a blank too.
Yeah, he was in Atlanta. He's a Spurs guy who went to Atlanta. Notorious for having the number 1 seed and pooping his pants in the playoffs. But it's rigidity, It's like they go into a series, they're brilliant coaches, but they're like, no, we are the 1 seed. This is what we're doing, and we are not changing no matter what, And, dude, like, Snyder just repeatedly gets killed by opposing coaches in the playoffs. Whether it's Ty Lue, Jason Kidd, just any of these guys, they'll be tweaking, changing things up in the lab. And then by game 5, Snyder is like in checkmate, Yeah, the playoffs are a chess game, dude. They really are. It's making tweaks here and there, and Quinn Snyder won't even play. That's why he sucks as a coach.
Damn.
Because, I mean, he's a great regular season coach. Don't get me wrong, but can't tell you how tired I am of watching these playoff collapses by the Jazz. We were up 3-1 on the Nuggets in the bubble. We lost that. We were up 2-0 on the Clippers with Kawhi and Paul George healthy, and lost both those series, dude.
Damn.
Yep.
I feel your pain, dude. I mean, I don't, but I get why you say that. Like, because my
He's
Bulls
not a bad coach.
My Bulls just got in the playoffs for the first time in a while, so
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, till Sunday, man. Everyone go to aboutthefans.com. Buy some merch, Fours Up gear, cool hats. So, yeah.
some great gear.
Yep. Yes, sir. All right. Any last words, Mike?
No, man. I might switch my pick. That's all I'm saying.
You might go to Heat.
Yeah. I'll let you know if I do.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm going with what I said. I think the better defense will win it out, but playing at home, Game 7, man, that matters.
Well,
That matters.
and dude, like the Heat have the dude with the biggest balls in this series, and that matters too. Jimmy has the biggest balls on the floor in this series, no doubt. I don't know if I'd unequivocally say he's better than Jason Tatum, but like he is the alpha dog on this floor, both teams.
I don't think that's crazy to say. They just do it differently.
Yeah.
They do it differently. And that loses cool points because Jimmy Butler does it without the cool points.
Yep.
And people like the aesthetics, you know what I mean? And that's stupid. But that wouldn't be, I don't think that's outlandish to say.
Yeah. Like Jimmy's just cold-blooded.
Yeah.
And I feel like Tatum is still figuring that out.
Fair.
You know, Tatum's great. Like, no critiques here, but he's playing like he's Jimmy's little brother right now. You know, I just that's what it feels like to me. I don't mean that disrespectfully or anything. That's just the vibe I get when I watch.
I hear you.
So
rightfully so.
Yep. All righty.
I think it's 8:30 tip Sunday, so we'll see, man.
Okay. Awesome. We are out, guys. Thank you.